As Evan mentioned, each of these sessions start off with a little breath work. Before CreativeZen events I've attended, breath exercises have been more on the calming side, and I decided to change things up a bit. I'm a big fan of changing it up. So we're going to do an exercise called Ego Eradicator. This is one that my coach taught me last year, which really helps me get everything in my mind out real fast. So the first thing I'm going to ask is to create some space. If you're right next to someone, just maybe move a little up or back in the chair, because we're gonna put our hands up in a 45-degree. Not yet. So not yet. Yes. Yeah, you might want to shift your chair. So this is how the Ego Eradicator exercise is gonna go. We're gonna put our hands up, and the breath pattern is going to be just exhale. So it's going to be at that pace. You're going to feel like, oh my God, I need to inhale, but just you will be inhaling. You're not going to realize it, but you will be inhaling. So we're going to be doing Ego Eradicator, 2 minutes, while our hands are up. It's very important that you keep your hands up while you're doing the pattern. As you're getting into it, you start maybe freak out a little bit, but closer to the end of this, we're going to get like an extremely calming sensation. After 2 minutes, I'm going to call you to take a deep inhale. I'm going to hold it in. And after 15 seconds, I'm going to have a deep exhale. And exhale everything out. How are we feeling about this? Woo! A little excited, a little nervous, a little scared. Okay. So, everyone hands up. I'm going to kick us off with a little 2-minute timer. I'm ready, and if any of your hands are coming down, I'll just kind of gently remind you to keep them up. Ready? Let's go. If you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. Great job. We're about 25% there. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. If you're feeling like you're sweating, that's totally okay. It's totally fine. Just keep going. We're about halfway there. Smiling definitely makes it easier. Definitely alleviates the pain. Focus. I'm sticking with it. Got 40 seconds left. 20 seconds. Almost there. Almost there. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep exhale. Deep exhale. You can put your hands down. Deep exhale. When you're completely filled, hold your breath at the top. Hold it for as long as you can. Until you can't hold on any longer. And then do a deep exhale. When you're ready, right? How are you feeling? Good? Bad? Overwhelmed? Welcome. Welcome to my CreativeZen talk. If you want to get back spaces, get back close to each other. So thankful to Evan, so thankful to Carla. As Evan mentioned, we're all connected. We all impact each other, we all influence, inspire each other, we take each other to these events, we meet people, those people end up being like huge catalysts in our lives. It's very difficult to see that because our egos separate us. Our egos have us constantly in fight or flight. So I learned a lesson many years ago about honeybees. How honeybees are going to different flowers. They're constantly extracting this pollen, extracting nectar, transferring pollen, and the flowers are creating fruit. That became a deep metaphor in my life for how I see life. Like we're all connected, we're all inspiring each other, we're all influencing each other, helping each other grow. Which led to today's talk titled Sharing My Honey. So as Evan mentioned, it's going to be a little talk, kind of workshop-y, little self-reflection exercises, because I think as we're in these talks, you have these amazing ideas. Sometimes you get to capture these down. So I prepared little worksheets for everyone. If you do not have a pen, I have a pen for you. raise your hand and I'll come. I'll bring you a pen. Just take one, pass it down. No, not those. So who needs a pen? Pens, anyone? Okay, hands up right here. Any more pens? Thank you. You, the extras. So, you can put those down. I'll prompt you on when to bring those up. I've done a lot of things in life. I went to college in America. I chased my dream. I worked in big tech and Fortune 500 and restaurants. But none of that matters because my biggest achievement, my most proud accomplishment is learning how to bake challah bread. Challah bread is kind of like the catalyst for my entire journey, and I'm excited to share that with you today. When you think about the challah bread in your life, there is that one thing that you've done throughout the entire arc of your life, no matter what relationships you're in or work or outside, like there is this one thing that's kind of taking you forward. I invite you to think about that. My honey, challah is one key part of my honey, my unique intersection that kind of drives me forward. And today I want to share my story through three main themes that was common all throughout. So the first thing I want to talk about is confidence. So how many of you have heard of a vision board? Hands up. Okay, great. So when I was 16 years old, I watched The Secret. I read the book, watched the movie. They talked about this vision board. They said you can achieve anything in life. Just gotta, mind over matter. Mind over matter. Just put it on this board, and it's gonna happen. Okay, cool. Put it on this board. And so I made my first vision board and put a picture of UF, and I put a picture of my family, and I put a check, $20,000, and I put a picture of friends. And for the next 2 years, I would look at that vision board and eventually find my way to the University of Florida, remind myself of this deep connection with my parents, and always surrounding myself with my friends. Check would eventually turn into a scholarship, and that was pretty cool. But after school ended, that vision board, or after I got to school, that vision board kind of went away. It was time to make a new vision board. So when I went to school, I knew that I wanted to do restaurants. Didn't know how, but I knew restaurants was one part of it. I chose to study systems engineering, which is very high level. How do you connect the dots in a manufacturing facility when raw materials come in and it goes in the machines and then everyone's working and then it goes out? How do you connect all those dots? And I said, how can I take systems engineering and restaurants and kind of bring them together? And I didn't know, but I knew that was the thing. Through school, I would take on these projects. I read a book about the Ritz-Carlton, and the Ritz-Carlton, they were told the 7-star, the 5-star fancy hotel, the amazing service. I learned part of the reason why they have amazing service is because they have a technology platform that keeps track of every guest. The pool boy, when he hears what your favorite drink is, they'll put it in the system. When the bartender sees, she pulls it up. The lobby says your anniversary. Everyone's communicating through this technology platform. So, wow, that could be a thing. And I went to a nightclub, said, hey, I want to build this technology platform for you. And school, I went to work at a company called Deloitte, big restaurant, a big accounting firm, a technology consulting firm, and I was assigned into project management for big government agencies. I hated it, but on the weekends, I would experiment with my challah concept. Big weekend, go around New York City, ship my challah bread, and really share that joy. So before I continue, I want to take a pause in the story, and I want us to think about just a quick 2-minute reflection. There's a vision board. There may or there may not be a vision board in your life, and there's these themes. There's these themes that are uniquely positioned to who you are. For me, it was restaurants, it was tech, it was systems engineering, and I have a diagram in front of you. But it was that unique intersection that helped me create the confidence that I was going to do whatever I wanted. I want everyone to think for a moment. It could be a word, it could be a paragraph, you could journal about it later. But what are the 3 things that you are uniquely interested in, that you are passionate about, the areas that when brought together really symbolizes who you are, and journal in your worksheet. I'm gonna put a little 2-minute timer, give you the pause to do that quick journaling exercise. This could be maybe a career you're pursuing, it could be a hobby, it could be an industry maybe that you serve or you focus on. It could be a type of person that you work with. 3 things that when brought together, that is Laura's expertise. That is Laura. That is MVP. That is what you represent. So my early career started. I was at Deloitte. My Jewish mother was extremely proud of me. I had a job, and I said, "Mom, I fucking hate this. I want to quit." And they said, "What do you mean? You have an amazing job." And I said, "Mom, it's not restaurants. It's not what I'm passionate about. I want to go into restaurants." No, you're not gonna throw this away. And this is where the failure or the no's really starts to kind of creep into life. Other people start telling you no. I was passionate about challah. I was traveling every week, going to Delaware. I hated it, and I really didn't see a way out. At nights, I would work with the Deloitte hospitality division, doing research. I thought it was really getting me there. It was really just the same slide decks, the same Excel sheet. It sucked. But I thought it was getting closer. I actually even did get a project here in Miami with a cruise line, doing tech consulting, but not restaurants, not food. And so I found a program in New York that on the weekends you would come and do your culinary MBA and write a business plan and launch a business and become the next Danny Meyer and live your wildest food dreams. And it was $10,000. And I said, "Mom, Dad, you promised me grad school. This is the program. It's $10,000." And I said, "Can we let it switch?" And they said, "No, you're fucking crazy." And I said, "All right, well, you know what? It's time to take matters into my own hands. I'm going to take out a credit card, $12,000, swipe it, and sign up for the course." And I started attending this course, and every week was different marketing and law and legal and then operations. And I'd always raise my hand and I'd say, "Hey, digital challah bakery, how do we make it happen?" And everyone would be like, this and this. They didn't really have much advice, but it didn't matter. During the breaks, I would say, "Hey, I'm a systems engineer. I love restaurants. I like data. I want to get into restaurants." And they said, "Oh, you have to become a server." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to become a server." When I was in college, I was a server, and I asked the same questions to the general manager, and he said, "Go clean up table 5." And I said, "No way. No, I don't want to do that thing. I already got the notes." And you have have to start at the bottom. I'm like, well, there's another bottom. Many bottoms in life. And program ended, nothing would happen. A year later, one of those instructors would call me and say, hey, we need a systems engineer. We're starting up 8 different businesses, a food hall and a bakery, and we're growing flour, and there's coffee, and we have a coffee station, and quick, all everywhere, and we need someone to put together. And I said, okay, yes, this is it. And I showed up, and I started learning all the different things that needed to happen, and putting the pieces together. About a year into it, our owner, who was like just wildly visionary, and he opened way too many things. The investor was like, I don't think this is going well. I'm going to close 4 of these $20 million investments, just like snap of a finger. I didn't really feel safe. And so my biggest complaint in that job, my biggest failure, was that like there were no resources. So I said, I'm going to start writing the book for the next person who's going to follow after me, the next restaurant analyst. I was sure that restaurants were going to move more towards technology. So I started writing this book called NewBee Foodie at the time. It was really it could be my guidebook, but also inspiration for people outside of the food industry to come into the food industry and bring their unique perspective to reshape the food industry, because God only knows food industry is very archaic, very old school in their thinking. And it's really about rejuvenating. So I started writing my book, and I was super passionate about it, I was excited, and I was focused, I was sure it was going to change the game, and the universe would have other plans and say, hey, here's a startup that needs your help, they're in New York, and they are working with all the biggest restaurants in New York. The CEO kind of heard my story, and he said, well, like, you got to be my analyst, you're going to study all the data, you're going to write the white papers, you're being connected to Danny Meyer and David Chang and like all of these different people, and and your book can wait. I'm gonna write your forward, and Danny Meyer's gonna sign it and everything. I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Okay, put my plans on hold. Let's do the job. And started working the job, started connecting the dots, started like seeing what was reality, what was the story, like what was real, and during that job experience that I had a creative experience in the forest, where I realized my story was not just about the food industry, it was actually so much bigger. It's about any industry, it's about who you are as a person, it's about your unique intersection, it's about bees, it's about, we are all bees, we're all going to different jobs, courses, conferences, work experiences, we're extracting all these unique insights for ourselves, we're taking it to Evan, helping him write his book, we're teaching Carla how to use systems to organize her chef business, and it's that uniqueness that really drives your creation process forward, your unique creation process forward. So I'm mind blown. I'm like, holy shit! This is the real message that millennials, Gen Z, and younger generation around the country need to hear. We're told, can't do that, and you gotta be in the job forever, and one thing, stay there. And it's like, no, that's what's killing us. We have to do a lot of things, we have to explore a lot of things, and find an intentional way of bringing them together, and then giving that back into the world. So I was lit up. I was gonna quit again, go home, buy a van, tour the country, and my Jewish parents were like, you're crazy. And I said, whatever, I'm gonna do it anyways. So I found a roommate, I subleased my place, I was ready. I was 3 weeks away from moving back to Miami. And the universe again would give me another no. My old boss from that restaurant group I worked in said, hey, what's up, what are you doing? Told him my plans, he said, put the book away, I have an opportunity for you. What's the opportunity? He says, well, I'm gonna go to this small restaurant group called The Palm. It's a 96-year-old family-owned steakhouse. It's like one of the first steakhouses in the country that set the paradigm for everyone. And okay, so, well, I'm gonna totally do replace everything, like tech, finance, HR, new menu, new this, new that, analysis, like, and I want you to do it. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know anything. No, you're perfect. Your skills, your experiences, the intersections, like, it's great. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I should be my own case study. So before I continue, there's lots of failures of no's that you get in life. People telling you no, or you're crazy, or this, or that, or that. But there's like a lot of magic in those no's, because that's where you very quickly decide, like, okay, ego is gonna say no and really sell yourself short, or I'm gonna find a way around. I'm gonna find a different path forward. When the restaurant GM said, no, go back to work, it's like, no, I'm gonna ask someone else how to get in. When someone says start at the bottom, I said, no, there's another bottom. When they say I have a job, okay, you take the job, but like you keep working on that project. So take a few moments, record some of the no's or the failures, how those no's kind of shifted into like a growth opportunity for you, or opportunity for change. About loyalty and relationships, people who kind of keep in your life. And I want to frame with a concept called the law of strength of weak ties. Has anyone here heard of the concept of a strong or a weak tie before? Okay. So, in your networks, there are many types of relationships, but for simplicity's sake, I want to break it down into just two. There's the strong tie. These are people that you spend a considerable amount of time with, considerable emotional investment. Your parents, your siblings, your best friends, your loved ones, people that you have like a strong bond with. You know a lot about them. And then there's so the emotion being that primary connection point. And then there's the second type, which is a weak tie. And a weak tie means that you have a bond with this person. It's not necessarily a personal bond with this person, but it's tied via an interest or a mutual goal. So like a boss is a weak tie because you're tied via your employment. Or maybe Evan, at first, weak tie, we're both tied to book writing or creative expression. People that you are tied, over time, connections change, there's emotion involved, but for all intents and purposes, connections via a third party, an interest, experience, something kind of living together. Everyone here now is a weak tie of each other via CreativeZen. So, how does that relate to this, creating your opportunities in life? Sharing your honey with the world. When I look back at my story, the strong ties in my life, the people that love you, that support you, that want you to succeed, are also the people that say, fuck no, you can't do that. Like, that's too dangerous, that's too risky, like, no, they are very emotionally tied, and the ego, all the reasons why your mind wants to save. But the weak tie, however, doesn't really have that emotional investment. Like, they're not really afraid of you failing. They're just gonna give you some advice and take it or leave it. That's what happens. So in my life, I had many weak ties. I had the woman who taught me how to bake challah. I had the woman at the chorus that gave me the opportunity. I had my mentor at the restaurant group. Like, I have all these different people who playing these roles that are opening up these amazing opportunities for you. You don't even realize it. So it's very important to keep a running dialogue or a running list of who are these people. Over time, you're extremely grateful and appreciative of these weak ties that got developed into higher levels of relationship, connection, and love, and all that stuff. But a lot of times these strong ties, they don't want you. They're afraid. So I was at a you? And I said, great, I'm going to do it. And put my plans on hold. And, I was talking about a lot of the no's. Other people telling you no, and you find a way around it. But when I started this so-called dream job, I started telling myself no. I walked into this environment, this company, and in the first week, the first month, there was a $100 million lawsuit against us that our owner had to pay other people, we don't need to get into. And the entire year and a half where I was brought on to be this catalyst for change, this owner didn't care about change. He just focused on himself, and this and that and the other. So I could really rise to the dream job. Eventually, I would enter into depression. Everyone was telling me I hate change, I hate resistance, I hate this, I hate that, I don't need any of this. And a year into it, the guy couldn't take care of his business, and we were forced to sell in bankruptcy. So my old boss pulls me in a room, and he starts telling me, listen, we made amazing strides in this. He couldn't take care of his stuff, so in the next 3 months, they're going to sell the business, and the banker's going to be here, and the lawyer's going to be here, and everyone's going to be here, and this is going to be this is the opportunity. You're going to be responsible for getting it across the line. I'm what do you mean me? What about you? And I'm leaving. I'm oh my God, what bring me into? So this was COVID, and in the 3 months all the way up to COVID, we're on this rapid work, sprinting towards the finish line. We didn't know COVID was going to happen, and the whole deal closed the day before Disney would close, and the NBA would close, and then we would get purchased by the largest restaurant group in the country. And overnight, the world exploded, my job exploded, my title changed, and there I was, restaurant systems engineer. And made it happen after 8 years of failure and struggle. And ironically enough, I hated it. I was in this group. It was 900 restaurants, and every day they were looking at every single number. Sorry. And it was I don't want to do this anymore. I said, I need to finish my book. And so, for the next 5 months, while the world was going through what it was going through, I would finish the book, publish the book, quit my job, and start doing what I really wanted to do, which is what I'm focusing on now, which I'll get to in a moment. But what I love with my story, this idea of your connections, your relationships, and sharing your desires with these people is one of the most important things that I would have never gotten to learn challah if I didn't tell someone I wanted to do challah. I've never gotten restaurants if I didn't tell someone I wanted to get there. So many times we don't tell other people what we want to do. And that's where, again, we stay in isolation and don't get our goals. So, our last reflection, I want to take a few moments. If you have goals, fantastic, write them down. If you don't have goals, maybe you could write down the people who are brainstorming or conspiring to take over the world with. But really the idea is, what are your goals and who do you share them with? How do you people keep each other in progress towards those goals? How do you keep the momentum? You have someone else, you're supporting each other. Like me and Evan, getting our books out into the world. Evan and Carla, who are those people that you're sharing these desires with? You can make it happen. So, I finished writing my book here. In the flesh, you see the hexagon patterns there. These representing all these experiences. The hexagon is representing all the experiences in your life, with the embedded ones, the ones intersecting, the three of them being those unique nuggets that are like belong to you. It's almost like your DNA. And I finished publishing the book, and at the end of the book, I described the rise, the fall, all the things. And I said, I'm going to do the thing that I've been afraid to do this entire time, which is become an entrepreneur and bring the power, help other people elevate themselves, help other people discover their honey and share it with the world. Because so many of us have these dreams, have these visions. Many reasons, many challenges we face, we don't get it out. Very messy process in the beginning, but I'm happy to finally gain some ground. My company name is CPD Advisors, CPD standing for Cross-Pollination Design. I believe every entrepreneur is like a bee. They're growing all the flowers, they're extracting the nectar, the clients in the project. Here, there, they're going to the next conference and the expo. The only difference between an entrepreneur and the bees like super disciplined and connected, and the founder is like, oh, vision, like let's go forward. They don't have that structuring the underside of their vision. That's what kind of weakening. But I didn't come to sell CPD Advisors. I came to share my story. So that's it for my story. I do have books. If any of you have 20-somethings, 30-somethings, younger people that are looking for inspiration, offering books for sale if you want. Every $3 of them I'm going to be donating to CreativeZen. You're saying no, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. They're $10 and around. But aside from that, I'm happy to answer any questions from anyone.
Before we get the question and answer,
Selfie.
no, that's after. But we haven't done this in a while. I'd like you to turn to somebody, ideally not that you came with, and I'd like to discuss kind of what the fuck just happened, and maybe what inspiration or what nugget or what breakthrough you might have gotten from this worksheet, from this exercise, from his talk. Take maybe 2 minutes, ideally somebody you didn't come with, and just discuss what just happened, what you might have took from this.
What did you learn, Evan?
I learned not to say no, and I actually taking how those no's, how to take those no's, and how they actually did transform my life, and I didn't know it at the time. And it was a good reflection looking back on it.